Hello and welcome to section 1.6, describing angle pairs. Today we're going to start off with some vocabulary that's not necessarily in our notes, so grab an extra sheet of paper and let's get going. So the first word we're going to talk about is vertical angles. Vertical angles are two angles across from each other on intersecting lines. They're always congruent. So for example, here I'm just going to label these real quick. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you see here, angle 1 and angle 3 are across from each other. Those are vertical angles. We can do the same thing here with 2 and 4. 2 and 4 are across from each other. Those are both congruent angles. Okay? Let's go on to this next one. Adjacent angles. Adjacent angles are two angles next to each other, and they share a common side. So here's that common side they're sharing. Okay, and this is angle 1 and angle 2. So those are just adjacent angles. They're next to each other. A linear pair are two angles that are adjacent and supplementary. So here we have angle 1 and angle 2. If I were to add angle 1 plus angle 2, they should add up to be 180 degrees. They form a straight line, 180 degrees, linear pair. Next word we have is complementary. Complementary are two angles that sum to 90. So again, if we have angle 1 and angle 2 here, angle 1 plus angle 2 should equal 90 degrees. We could do the same thing with supplementary. Supplementary are two angles that add up to 180 degrees. So again, angle 1 and angle 2. So angle 1 plus angle 2 should equal 180 degrees. All right, let's get going on some notes here, some examples. All right, so it's asking us to find the missing measurement. So 112 degrees and angle X, those are vertical angles. So they are congruent, which means they have the same measurement, which means X equals 112 degrees. Here on number 2, you see this box. That box indicates 90 degrees. So if I wanted to find X, I would do 90 minus 68. That will give me a grand total of 22 degrees, which is X. Let's look at 3. 3, we can see they form a linear pair, right? They form a straight line with a shared side. So that means we're going to have to do them or add them up to 180. So I'm going to do 180 minus 124 to find that last angle. That's going to give me an angle measurement of 56 degrees. Beautiful. All right, let's look at some more complicated ones here. Okay, so here we have 3 different angles that are unknown. So we can start off with our vertical angles. So 43 and angle Y are vertical. That means Y is equal to 43 degrees. It's a nice pretty one to start off with. Looking at this, however, we can also say that Y and X form a linear pair. That means that X plus Y should equal 180. Y we know is 43, so we're going to do 180 minus 43 to get Y. That's going to give us 137. Now we also know X and Z here, those are vertical angles, so those will also be congruent. So Z is going to be the same as X. X we just determined was 137 degrees. Thus, Z is also equal to 137 degrees. All right, now for a pretty complicated one. Here's 5. So 5, we can start off with, we know that this is 90 degrees. Okay, because that one is 90, we know that these 3 angles right here form 180 degrees. This one is already 72. Just to find Z we're going to do 180 minus 90 minus 72. That will give us a grand total of 18 degrees, which we've decided was Z. Now that we know that this is 18 degrees, we can do vertical angles here. So 72 and y are vertical. So that means y equals 72 degrees. And then finally, y and x form a linear pair. So 180 minus 72 will give us a grand total of 108 degrees, which is x. So sometimes you're going to have to use a bunch of different things to kind of get these different angles. All right, let's look at 6 here. 6 says angle 1 and angle 2 are vertical. So let's draw a picture here. So here's 1 and here's 2. They're vertical. If the measurement of angle 2 is 105, find the measurement of angle 1. Well, because they're vertical, we know they're congruent. Thus, angle 1 is equal to 105 degrees. 7 I have already done for you. 7, you should get the measure of angle B is 48 degrees. If you've got any questions on any of these that I'm giving you the answers for, come see me in class during virtual time and I will be sure to explain these to you. 8 is saying P and Q are supplementary. Now if we look back at our notes, supplementary means they add up to 180. So P plus Q should equal 180. Let's write that down. Okay, we know the measurement of angle Q is 64 degrees. So I could replace Q with 64 degrees and I can then solve for P. So I can get P plus 64 degrees should equal 180. When I solve here, I'm going to get the measurement. So I'm going to minus 64 to both sides, which means P equals 100 and not 105, it's 116. 116 degrees. 9, you should get the measure of angle 2 is 67. All right, let's work some ones with algebra. All right, so it says PQT. So PQT is this angle right here. That's 3x plus 47. It also says SQR right here is 6x minus 25. Now if we look at these two angles, those are both vertical angles. Vertical angles are congruent, meaning they're equal. If these two angles are equal to each other, we just set up an equation where we set them equal. So I have 3x plus 47 equals 6x minus 25. I'm going to minus 3x from both sides to start off with. That gives me 47 equals 3x minus 25. I'm going to add 25 to both sides. That will give me 72 equals 3x. Divide both sides by 3. So you get a grand total of x equaling 24. Now to be careful and make sure we are answering the question, it wants the measurement of SQR. So I'm going to plug in 24, so 6 times 24 minus 25. That will give me 119 degrees. All right, let's try 11. 11 is telling me that AB is perpendicular to CD. That means AD forms a 90-degree angle right here. ACD is 90. It also says DCE is 7x plus 2, so I'm going to write that here. 7x plus 2. And finally, ECB is x plus 8. Don't be afraid to mark up your diagrams. Okay, we know ACB is a straight angle, meaning it adds up to 100, or it is 180 degrees. So I'm going to add up all three angles and make them equal to 180. So I'm going to do my first angle, 90, plus my second angle, 7x plus 2, plus my last angle of x plus 8 equals 180. I'm going to combine like terms here, so 7x plus 1x is 8x. Next, I'm going to add up my like terms here, so 90 plus 8 is 98 equals 180. I'm going to subtract 98 from both sides. So that gives me 8x equals, oh, I forgot to add my 2 in. Hold on, let's go back. Not 98. That's going to be 90 plus 2 plus 8 is going to be 100. There we go. So I'm going to minus 100 from both sides. Here we go. Now we're getting somewhere. So 8x equals 80. Divide both sides by 8. So I get x equals 10. Read the question. It wants the measurement of DCE. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to plug in 10. So 7 times 10 plus 2 will give me a measurement of 72 degrees. All right, 12. 12 again is labeling your diagram. K and M, that's 8x minus 5. M and J is going to be 4x minus 19. And they want us to find the measure of K and M. So these two angles, when we add them up, form a linear pair. So we're going to add them up to 180. So 8x minus 5 plus 4x minus 19 equals 180 degrees. All right, let's combine some like terms here. 8x plus 4x gives us 12x. Negative 5 minus 19 is negative 24, which all adds up to 180. It's a minus 24, so we're going to add 24 to both sides. So that gives me 12x equals 204. Divide by 12, so I get x equals 17. Again, we have to plug that in for K and M. So K and M would be 8x minus 5. So 8 times 17 minus 5 will give me a grand total of 131 degrees. If I'm going too fast, remember you can stop, pause, and slow the video at any point in time. All right, here we go. Let's label our diagram here. DEG is 5x minus 4. GEF is going to be 7x minus 8. Okay, DEH right here is 9y plus 5. And he wants to find the values of x and y. So in order to find y, right, this angle and this angle are vertical, which means they're going to be the same. But they've got two different variables, so I can't do anything with those yet. But I do know that this angle plus this angle are a linear pair. They add up to 180. So I can add those and make them equal to 180. So 5x minus 4 plus 7x minus 8 equals 180. Combine our like terms here and solve, so you should get the final answer of x equals 16. Now that we know x is 16, I can plug in 16 here for x. When I plug in 16 there for x, I'm going to get 104 equals that bottom angle, 9y plus 5. Let's explain that one more time. So I plugged in 16 into this equation for x, so 7 times 16 minus 8. That gave me 104. That means this angle is 104. This angle and this angle are vertical, which means they're congruent, which means 9y plus 5 is equal to 104. Solve here. When you solve, you should get y equals 11. All right, let's look at some more ones here. So for 14, let's draw a diagram here. So it says complementary. If you remember, complementary means 90. So let's say this is going to be R, and this will be S. So R is 12x minus 3. S is 7x minus 2. They're complementary, that means I have to add them up to 90. So 12x minus 3 plus 7x minus 2. Add those to equal 90. Combine your like terms. So 7 plus 12 gives you 19x. Negative 3 minus 2 gives you negative 5 equals 90. When you solve for x is going to be 5. Now I'm not done. Again, you have to read the directions. It wants r, so I have to plug x into r. So 12 times 5 minus 3, that will give me a measurement of angle R equal to 57 degrees. Okay, let's look at 15. P and Q are supplementary. Now again, if you remember our notes, that's 180 degrees. Okay, so just like what we did before, P plus Q should add up to 180. So 4x plus 1 plus 9x minus 3 will equal 180. Combine your like terms, that gives you 13x minus 2 equals 180. When you solve, x will be 14. From here, it wants angle Q, so I have to plug in 14 for Q. So that's 9 times 14 minus 3, which will say the measurement of angle Q is equal to 123 degrees. 1, 2, 3. All right, here's the answers for 16 and 17, 18, 19, and 20 as well. So pause the video here, see if you can grab those, and let's move on to our last little section of notes here. Almost done. Nope, it looks like that is our last section of notes. Phenomenal. So now that you are done, look up above, see today's assignment, and go and complete that.